Good morning, Anthony. Can you hear me?
Morning. Yes, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I met your mum on Sunday.
My
I think
mum?
it was Sunday or Saturday. Yeah.
Won't be
she
my
were-
mum. My mum's in Tenerife.
Oh, right, okay.
Where were you?
Tesco's.
Oh.
I'm sure she said Anthony from anyway, forget it. Hope your mum's having a nice holiday in Tenerife.
I wonder who you spoke to then.
Don't know.
Oh.
Don't know. Hey ho.
Oh, well.
I don't know. Do you know what, Anthony? People say hello to me because I've been doing this job for a really long time, around Burnley especially. People say hello to me and I have no idea who they are, and they know me really well. So I think I must have met you at some point. And she was talking about her son, Anthony, and you've not written a book, have you?
No.
No, it's not you then. It's definitely not you.
Definitely not me. I don't know if I'd sell many copies of my book or not. I don't know. So I'm here instead of Katie today anyway, so.
Yeah, okay. No worries. Oh, we've got people coming now. We've got people arriving now. Morning, all.
Morning.
Morning.
It's a right awkward time, this, isn't it? When we're waiting for other people to come in, we're all staring at each other or pretending not to work.
I'm quite happily just drinking my brew.
You just drink your brew. Tell you what, it's not right warm this morning, is it? My car was frozen.
Frozen. Yeah. It's a nice day though. Lovely blue sky.
It is, yeah. The clouds are lovely. They've all got them ice things, when they go a bit what can I say? They look a bit like cauliflower.
I say I'm down Stockport way this morning, and it's actually clear blue skies here.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not a cloud in the sky.
Well, it's not like yesterday. Good grief, it chucked it down, didn't it?
Yeah.
We'll just give people a few more minutes because we're a bit early this morning. Me and Anthony were a bit early this morning.
I thought I were rushing, and I'm sat here with my coffee and my breakfast.
Well, it's 10 o'clock. It doesn't appear to be, we don't appear to be overrun with people trying to get in this morning. If anybody arrives, I'll let them in. So welcome everybody. You are here for Burnley Linked. You're not here for cookery lessons or anything, are you? No, please say no. I'm not the cook in our family. My partner does all that. So we've no guest speakers booked in for this meeting. So is there anybody? I mean, there's so few of us. You could probably all do 10 minutes, to be perfectly honest. Is there anybody that wants to go first and tell us a bit about their service or a new service or anything else that you want to say about your organisation?
I don't mind. I'll go first.
Thank you, Shafiq.
It's no problem. It's all good. So yeah, so my name is Shafiq Sadiq. I'm also known as Sid. That is my nickname that I acquired having served 22 years in the army. I now work for the NHS and East Lancashire Hospitals NHS Trust specifically, and I'm the Armed Forces lead. So it's my role to help support the Armed Forces community that transition through our 4 hospitals and various community-based teams across the whole of East Lancashire, which covers obviously Burnley, Blackburn, Accrington, you know, the whole area. And I've been doing this for about 4 years now, and we're one of very few teams in the whole of the NHS across 211 NHS trusts across the UK. I'm one of very few permanent members of staff that do this particular role. Yeah, and that's about me really. Yeah, we've seen about 5,500 patients in that time, from homelessness to social inclusion, that kind of thing, and everything in between.
Yeah, I'm sure. Has anybody got any questions for Sid? No. It's going to be a very quick meeting.
That was easy enough, wasn't it?
Thank you, Sid. Thank you
No
for
worries.
sharing. Okay, anybody else want to talk about their service? Might be some new people on here, so right, I'm gonna go round then because you're not volunteering, so I'm gonna go round. Anthony, you're first on my screen. Do you want to say a bit about Christians Against Poverty and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Anthony from Christians Against Poverty. You will have probably met my colleague Katie that I think usually attends these meetings. We have recently taken on a third deck coach, so Joy, so there's now 3 of us working. I also have a role of job club manager, but that's over in Nelson. But we also have a job club manager in Burnley. So we're now providing debt help support on a one-to-one basis. We're offering life skills courses, job clubs, and money coaching. So we've got all 4 services that we're now providing, which is everything that CAP as a national charity kind of provides. So we're very lucky and privileged to be able to provide all that. We have various drop-ins which people can come to, and we're also happy to link up and meet up with people if you're working with anybody that is vulnerable, and before they ring up and book in, we are happy to meet up with you and your client to kind of have an informal chat just so they get to know a face before they book in.
That's really good because some people are really nervous, aren't they, about meeting people, particularly when it's to do with money. Thank you, Anthony. Has anybody got any questions for Anthony? Kat?
Yeah, thanks, Anthony. I was just wondering if you've got like an up-to-date list of like when and where your drop-ins are. We used to have one on our notice board.
Yeah.
But I think it's a bit out of date.
Right. I'll have a look. I think one thing that I have an idea of, because they kind of keep changing, so it's whether we have something like a QR code which people can scan and that can be kept up to date. But yeah, I'll make a refreshed list and get it to everyone.
Oh, that's super. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Anthony.
Okay.
So next on my screen is, now I'm not sure about this name. I don't know whether it's Regan Kelly or Kelly Regan.
Yeah, it's Regan.
Excellent. Thank you, Regan.
No bother. Yeah, so my name's Regan. I'm from Spring North. We're based in Blackburn, but working across sort of Lancashire and South Cumbria. Working on quite a range of different projects, from health and cancer, stuff to mental health, children, young people. I sort of look after our mental health projects as well as sort of autism projects that support children, young people, mental health projects that, again, supporting children, young people, parents, as well as sort of working with individuals with severe mental illness as well, and promoting their sort of physical health, if you will, by getting health checks.
Fab, thank you, Regan. Anybody got any questions for Regan? Yeah, Anthony.
Yeah. So if we had a client that we thought could use your services, how would we refer in?
So because there's such a broad range of different projects, Anthony, it sort of differ. So for example, we've got, if I just pick one out at random, we've got Safe Hubs, which is supporting young people aged 11 to 25 with SEN up to 16 otherwise. For that, it generally goes through the delivery partner. So the delivery partner on that is Burnley FC in the community, New Era Counselling in Burnley, and Why Not Aspire in Accrington. So it's generally direct through those guys. With other stuff that we have, so we run the Family Autism Service, which is delivered by Child Action Northwest.
Yeah.
For that, there are links out there that take you to our website. So if there's any sort of projects in particular, I'm going to start attending these meetings regularly going forward. So I'm more than happy to sort of send you some links out to those projects.
Yeah.
I suppose the only other thing is to caveat is it just differs with funding. So, for example, the outreach work we do around severe mental illness, that's all the way up in sort of South Cumbria, so it doesn't necessarily link into Burnley. But a lot of our stuff that I sort of work on is East Lancs, Pennine Lancs based.
Regan, if you could send us some information, if you send it to me or Warner, we'll make sure that everybody can see it. Just for those of you that don't know, that are quite new, we have a web page on our website for Burnley Linked, and if you're interested, people of Pendle as well, because people they express concern about getting loads and loads of emails through with all this information. So we put it all on there, and then we send a link out when we send the meeting invitations out. So if there's anything that's date sensitive, we will send it out to everybody. So you're getting fewer emails from us. So thank you for that, Regan. Anybody else got any questions? Sid, you had your hand up.
I did, no, but Anthony asked the same question that I was going to ask.
Sorry.
Fair, so no, it's all good.
Okay. No worries. Thank you, Regan. Hayley, you're next on my screen.
Hi, so I'm Hayley. I'm one of the practitioners in the Children and Young People's Mental Health Service, what was known as LCAS or Children's Psychology. We're basically merged together, hence the name change. Our team in the service offers consultations to professionals. If they're unsure where to refer a young person to, you can give us a ring and we'll have that discussion and then, make some sort of recommendations. We offer 2-day free training courses on youth mental health first aid. We have drop-ins that anyone can come along to, professionals, parents, carers, young people. That's usually weekly on a Wednesday, and the time just slightly changes. But people can just turn up, no appointment needed. Can be anonymous if they wish to be, and we're there for advice around young people's mental health. We also have parenting practitioners in our team, so we deliver the Incredible Years parenting programme for anyone who wants to attend that. And then we're obviously part of the wider CYPMHE service. So if there's severe complex mental health, or if someone is on the opposite side of that and they're linked into a school that has a mental health support team, we can look at, those teams within our service as well. That's it.
Thank you, Hayley. Has anybody got any questions for Hayley? Kat?
Can you just say a bit more about the parenting course and what that like includes and how people get on that?
Yeah, so the Incredible Years it's known nationally, but also over in America really well. There's a lot of evidence base behind it. Practically, it's a 12-week program for parents to attend for 2.5 hours a week. And it looks at like the foundations of parenting, and then lots of different techniques to support parenting and consistency, and parenting styles. You can refer in via the main CYPMH referrals inbox, just requesting that it's parenting support that you're looking for and Incredible Years. And there's a couple of practitioners in our team who'd pick that referral up and then get in contact with the family. They sort of run across East Lancashire, occasionally in BWD, but because it's on like a needs-led basis, so wherever we're getting the most referrals, that's where we sort of go to that area. Is that all right?
Thank you. Thanks, Hayley.
Yes.
I think with parenting, you know, when people have children, everybody just assumes that they can do it, but they don't come with any instruction manual, do they? You know, and everybody's an individual, so you know, there'll be some hints and tips, won't there, Hayley?
Yeah, definitely. It's really, really good. I think everyone should go on it because, as you say, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't get a manual as such, hardest job in the world. So yeah, but unfortunately, there's a bit of stigma still attached to parenting groups. But it is about supporting the family, and the power of the parents in the group giving each other advice and tips and tools is massive. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Hayley. I think as soon as you find out you're expecting, I think you should be going on parenting classes. You know, because I think everybody needs it. You know, speaking, I've not had children myself, but as a stepmom to several, it's not easy. It's not easy. So, and I do think, you know, there's a lot to give. I know my mum used to go to what are they, like activity sessions with me, the various children that she's looked after in our family, and she was known as the grandma of the group because she'd done it all. She'd been there, she'd seen it. She brought up teenage kids of her own, and yeah, they're hard work. And you know, don't worry if your baby's not sleeping, it will. You know, it'll come. So she with that reassuring voice. So maybe there's scope there as well for parenting groups, you know, to include grandmas and granddads that have had that life experience. Anyway, I'll shut up now. Sorry.
No,
it's something I feel really strongly about, you know, particularly with young people's mental health, you know, being so prominent, and you know, a lot of these kids are falling through the gap because they don't meet a certain threshold for services. Our service isn't funded in Burnley to pick up those young people, and it is really concerning because these are our future. And you know, if parents are struggling, and like you said, Hayley, there's still a lot of stigma around that because you're just expected to know, you're just expected to know how to parent young people, and it's not always the case.
No, if anyone's interested in that and there's a group, we can happily come and talk about Incredible Years, just that in a bit more detail if it's helpful. And we do, so when we get referrals, we do like little coffee mornings to let families get a bit of a taste of what it's all about.
Fab, thank you, Hayley.
Nice.
Sid, you've already been. Have you got any more that you want to say? You're next on my screen.
Yeah, no, I've done my bit. Thanks. It's
Fab,
all good.
Thank you. Thanks, Sid. Jodie, Smiley Jodie.
That's kind of become my name now, eh? Before I start though, could I ask Hayley, we end up supporting a lot of people with, I'll explain my project in a minute, with things like special guardianship orders. Does it have to be a parent, as in if a person is in a position of taking on other children, grandchildren sometimes, etc., can they do the incredible parenting course, or does it have to be the parent?
No. As long as they're in a caring role for a young person, it can be anyone who has that caring role. We've had people, and it's ideal that, you know, a couple of parents come to sort of promote that consistency whether that's mum and dad, mum and grandma, whoever is in that caring role. So yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So I'm Jodie. I work for Advocacy Focus. That's our charity. We are Lancashire's leading advocacy charity. I run and head up a project which covers across East Lancashire. The project is called Community Focus. So we support people with advocacy directly in the community. As part of that, we've got a hub down in the centre of Burnley on Hargreaves Street, and we provide drop-in services Monday, Tuesday and Thursday, 10 till 2. People can just drop in and have some support from a trained advocate during those times. You've always got 2 people on duty. So yeah, here a couple of times a week to be able to offer direct support. We also do outreach support, so directly in the community, which currently, as we stand, is in Pendle, Bacup and Cone. And we'll be changing that up in the middle of the year, so hopefully spreading a little bit further afield. We seem to be getting a few more referrals coming through from Earby, Barnoldswick area, which is kind of to be expected because there's not as much support out in the more rural areas. So we're hoping to get a little bit more further afield. So what we do is we support people directly with whatever's important to them. Which usually encompasses housing benefits, which benefits is form filling. So we support people a lot at the moment with work capability assessments down here at the hub. They'll just drop in and we end up either supporting them there and then or getting them to come back. We do a lot to do with attending GP appointments, supporting people to have their voices heard around things such as their treatment pathways or the medication that they might be on, or along the lines of, I don't know, I can't think of it, maybe having a second opinion. People aren't always aware of their rights when it comes to their options and their pathways that they can have support with. We work a lot with a lot of other people, so we work a lot with CAP. We have CAP dropping in quite often and with people and supporting people to come down to the hub if they're not feeling confident enough to walk in. What else do we do? I think I've pretty much covered it. Yeah. I hope I probably missed something off along the way there, but yeah, it's quite wide and vast what we do, and it encompasses mainly, like I say, benefits, housing, employment support, supporting people sometimes to do a volunteering session for the first time if they don't have the confidence or they're feeling anxious about doing that. So it's quite wide and vast. Recently we've had a big uptake in people coming through for support around childcare proceedings. Not necessarily that we would provide a legal support, but just to have that person with them whilst they're going through meetings, whilst they've feeling prepared for meetings as well. So helping them to record things down sometimes, having and being fully prepared before meetings can make a big difference for people, especially from an emotional side of things like childcare. So yeah, that's us.
Fabulous. Thank you, Jodie. Has anybody got any questions for Jodie? Sid?
I have. Yeah, I've got my hand up. Jodie, you mentioned housing. Does that also incorporate supporting people that are technically homeless?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Right,
and
okay.
I would say as well, I am a veteran of 16 years from the Royal Navy myself, and
Yeah,
I have a big thing about supporting
stuff.
veterans. So
Absolutely,
you're more than
yeah.
welcome.
Yeah, no, that's great. Do you have a lot of dealings with Healthier Heroes then?
I do. Yeah, I
Yeah,
work
yeah.
quite closely with Healthier Heroes. Yeah.
As do we here as well at ELHT, because
Yeah.
we do get a few homeless veterans that come through the emergency department on occasion. So that's good to know. Yeah, oh, great. Thank you.
That's okay.
Fabulous. Thank you very much. Thanks, Jodie.
Thank you. Oh, I should say as well, Tracy, love, whilst I've got the
Yeah.
floor, me and Tracy did a podcast together. It was one of my other roles with my charity is I do a podcast. It's called Focus AF, and I got Tracy on for the podcast. It's well worth a listen if you've got some free time. Should always promote that.
Yeah, we did. We had a nice time, didn't we?
We did.
Jodie?
We did.
We did have a lovely time. We could have talked for hours, but we only had a limited amount of time. I don't think you have to cut that much out, did I?
No.
No.
We still did it. We did a good episode. It was a good one. It was worth a listen.
Please do have a listen. So thank you, Jodie.
No, thank you.
Kat, you're next on my screen.
Hiya. So I'm at St Matthew's Church in Southwest Burnley, and we do a few different community projects. So we have free lunch club on a Wednesday, free toddler group on a Thursday, youth choir on a Tuesday, which are all just like open to anybody who wants to come along. We're also part of the Southwest Burnley Community Action Network, and so if you have got contacts in Southwest Burnley, one of the exciting things coming out of that is that they've got some funding to basically give to people locally who've got ideas to make their community better. And we've tried to make it as accessible as possible. So there'll be some publicity coming out later this week, hopefully. And it's basically they can either do a simple form or a 4-minute video just on a mobile and a selfie camera, share their idea for what they want to do. So it might be setting up a new craft group, it might be running an event somewhere, it could be literally anything. And then there'll be a community event in June at basically Cheer on Cog Lane, and the community will vote for what they want to get the money. But the great thing is people don't have to be like a registered charity, they don't have to have terms and conditions and all that kind of legal stuff. It's literally, you know, 3 mums at the school gate going, we want to do a coffee morning after drop off, great, put the application in, and they could get some funding to get that set up. So yeah, just something to look out for. And if you've got folks with a bit of creativity and positive ideas in Southwest Burnley, Kate Horsley from LCC is going to run a couple of drop-ins at Colclough Library to help people kind of do the application as well, if they'd find that helpful. So yeah, that's probably the main one for me.
Fabulous. Thank you, Kat. Has anybody got any questions for Kat? No. Okay. It'd be really good to have that publicity, Kat, and then we can get it out there and get people applying. It's a really good initiative, is that. We have a funding stream, Eric Wright Charitable Foundation, where you don't have to have the constitution, you don't have to have all the governance in place, you just have to have an idea. But I'll talk a little bit more about our funding streams later. I'd like to give you all a chance to talk before I launch into all of our stuff. So thank you for that, Kat. Ruth, my love, how did it go yesterday? You're on mute.
I'm so sorry I'm late. Apologies, first of all. So yesterday we did a large event at Burnley Youth Theatre, which was a culmination of a project with shared prosperity funding, where we were looking at taking stories of hope into the community about asylum seekers and refugees settling here, and looking at positive ways that we can establish a community that's more united in in its diversity, and that builds prosperity for all, very inclusive. So the event went really well. It went really well. We had an attendance of about 70 people, so that was really good. And this project has been the beginning of the outreach work that our charity will be doing. So I was listening to people, and we've actually come and done a session with Kat while the project was running. But what I want to say is this outreach work that we're doing, which takes a lived experience team into your venue to establish common humanity, to make links with people, to build a way of living together for the good of all. So we will be carrying on this work, both as outreach sessions, and also we have another project in development which is coming out soon, which is called The Fabric of Us, where we're looking for small community organisations, grassroots, or large ones if you're grassroots, to join with us. We're looking for 10 partners to help us construct, first of all, an understanding between different people, so there will be dialogue about issues that matter to us in Burnley today, and we will try and get agreement of a way forward, but we'll acknowledge difference if we can't come to that agreement. But we will then ask the group we work with to unite around a hope or a couple of hopes for Burnley in the future. I'm working with a textile artist. I think she's much more than a textile artist. We're going to produce a legacy banner for Burnley to feed into 2027 Year of Culture, which will be on an uncut piece of Lancashire cotton made at Queen Street Mill. It'll be panels appliqued onto it. And so we will be working together, people from both sides of the immigration divide, and with communities, but helping them to produce something that's meaningful to them and establishing ongoing normal human relationships. So we've got about 4 partners. We've got about 6 vacancies. We will be publicising it more over the weeks, but I have to say I'm still a bit shell-shocked from yesterday. It takes a lot of coming down from that project. It was so emotional to watch my lived experience team grow into these roles and develop into leadership, and to see the reception from the lovely people of Burnley. I have great faith in Burnley. I love Burnley. But I'm still coming down from it. I'm a little bit,
I bet.
what am I doing today?
I bet.
Yeah.
We did have the
I met Michelle.
Yeah, thank you for allowing Michelle to come in my place. I couldn't go.
Anybody's allowed to come. Anybody.
I felt so guilty that I couldn't come.
Oh, Tracy, goodness me. I don't know why.
And some of the lived experience people from New Neighbours Together came along to a Burnley Linked meeting. It's a while ago now, so perhaps we should do it again, Ruth.
Oh, we'd love to do it again. And actually, we're coming to Gano Community Centre at the invitation of, is it not Michelle? Not Michelle, the other one, Caroline. Sorry.
Oh, Caroline, yeah.
So that's in May. And so
Yeah.
we have sent her a poster. She will be publicising it.
Yeah.
We'll speak to anybody else. Anybody that listen to us, we'll go and talk to
tell you
them.
what, I think, I mean, I've yet to do this, and I will do it. I will set it up for our staff team as well, our staff and volunteers.
Yeah.
I think Caroline's doing the volunteer bit. I need to get on with the staff bit. But I do think that any of you that you know, work in Burnley, the staff teams that work in Burnley, it'd be well worth booking Ruth and her team to come along and talk to your staff teams. Because they just the stories are amazing. Take your tissues, because you do need your tissues. But they're so what can I say? I mean, they're obviously touching. But it makes you realise just what people go through. They're not just turning up, you know, with the hands out. There is some, you know, they come in with real issues. And Ruth and her team do a fabulous job. Shafiq's great, and you know, they're all wonderful. So please do invite them along to come and talk to your staff teams, your volunteer teams, your parents, whoever it is. Because the more that we can get them out there talking about these things, the more that we find that we have more in common than people think.
Absolutely. And for us, it's very, very important. These are mainly young people who are arriving, who want to rebuild their lives. And people are coming with degrees. They're teachers. They were software engineers. Many people have huge talents and things they can bring into our community. And we're not asking people to feel sorry for them. These are positive stories. They come out of tragedy. They come out of huge loss. But people are in a safe place now, and they want to be part of us. They want to belong to Burnley now. They want to contribute to Burnley. They want to support the community that they're in. So we'll be also looking for, as we carry on with this work, volunteer opportunities, and that's really good that I'm going to see Caroline, within the community, to give people the opportunity to become familiar faces in Burnley, to be part of Burnley life. So I'll tell you that I suppose you could say that my role when I started the charity was the host role. I hosted people, I welcomed people. But that role has changed over time. I'm going to get emotional now. People look after me now. It becomes a mutual support network. And the whole of Burnley, we are a great town, but we have dreadful problems within our town. We're fourth in the National Indices of Multi-Deprivation, between 36% and 50%, looking at which survey you read, of our children are growing up below the poverty level. These are things we've got many. I mean, Kat is working in an area I know with great social problems, doing at church, just wonderful work, but we're conscious of these things. So all we want to do is to make friends and put our shoulders to the wheel as well. And build a better Burnley. So our motto is grounded in hope, nurtured by community, building Burnley stronger together. We believe in community. Right, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. You'll be really glad to hear.
You're welcome to get on your soapbox anytime, Ruth. Thank you very much. Does anybody, I mean, everybody's contact details are on the membership list that you all get. So if you want to contact each other, or if you want to book some time with Ruth or Kat or Yoda.
We're producing a zine. Does everybody know what a zine is? Because I didn't know, and I was told it. I thought it was a zine.
It's a magazine. It's a magazine.
I know, but
that
it was the artist that said, "Do you want me to produce a zine?" I said, "What's?" It was written down. What's a zine? He said, "It's a zine, Ruth." So it'll be a resume of what we've done. But also, I have some flyers for the other work that we're doing. I can send them to you, Tracy, if you want.
Yeah.
You could go out to Burnley linked. Yeah. It'll be next week, not this week.
Yeah.
I'm doing the reporting for Stories of Hope, so I can't do it this week.
Okay. Yeah, get on with your reporting, you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you very much. So I'll just say a little bit about CVS. We do all sorts of stuff. And for those of you that don't know us all that well, we run several funding streams. So the Integrated Care Board Social Prescribing Fund for Small Groups, and the Eric Wright Charitable Foundation. We have two funding streams from Eric Wright. One is a larger grant, which is up to £5,000, which has to be groups that have got a proven track record. And the other one is the smaller one that I mentioned earlier, which is anything from £250 to £500, and that the 250 up to £250 is for unconstituted groups. So just as Kat was saying, anybody, if it's a group of mums that get together, like Kat said, at the school gate and want to do a coffee morning, please do please do send them in our direction. This is not a competition. Funding's available for everybody, and the more funding that we can make available for everybody. Speaking of making funding available, I did a huge report recently, primarily for the councils. I did 3, one for Burnley, one for Pendle, one for Rosendale, which are the areas that we cover. And all in all, over the last 10 years, BPRCVS have brought in over, I think it's £1.3 million into Burnley alone for small groups to deliver their services. No one else is doing that. No one else is bringing in funding for small groups. There's only CVS that does that. And we are banging our drum, because we bang everybody else's drum all the time. And you are all fabulous, and you all do a great job. And I'm not saying without us you wouldn't carry on doing a great job. Of course you would, but there wouldn't be £1.3 million brought into Burnley for small groups without us. So we want to ask for your support, really, in if we do send, if you do get funding from us and you get reports, a funding report, on the end of it is what kind of, it talks about CVS and a bit of feedback for us, so we can prove to our funders what a good job we're doing. Without that feedback, we can't prove that, and we can't continue to bring this money in. Christine and I work at local level, so I work with the councils, the health and wellbeing partnerships at local level, and Christine does the more strategic stuff. She's our CEO. She does the more strategic stuff, and she works across Lancashire and across Pennine. So she's doing, I feed up to her, she feeds down to me. We both feed into the Health and Wellbeing Partnership House. So meetings like this are really important to get that message across to those that make decisions and who put together action plans for our health and wellbeing in our communities. So what I was going to say was, I've written down parenting, I've written down children's mental health issues. Is there anything else that you think that I should be feeding into the Health and Wellbeing Partnership for Burnley? And it can be anything. You don't have to give an explanation. It can just be, you know, this is happening in our community. Can something be done about it? You don't have to come up with a solution. Kat?
I don't know if it fits with health and wellbeing, so feel free to say no, that's not relevant. But we're just seeing like a real increase in parents pulling their kids out of school and opting to homeschool, but often in scenarios where there's not much of a plan for the homeschool education. And we're just really worried about quite a lot of the kids, to be honest. They're not getting a lot of input. They're not, and also they've not got then as much people keeping an eye on them like they would have if they were in school every day. And I'm just finding it a tricky one to know what to do with that. Obviously, in this country, parents do have the right to choose to home educate, but there seems to be very few checks and balances on that, and some parents do it absolutely amazingly, but I am concerned for some of the kids in our community who just don't really seem to be getting an education, and also aren't getting that, you know, they've not got a routine for the days, they're not getting positive interaction with other young people, and I think I'm seeing a detrimental impact on their mental health, but also on their aspirations, and all that kind of thing.
And I would have thought the social aspect of school as well, you know, all that learning that they get from each other. Is there a reason? Is there any reasons for it, Kat, why more parents are taking them out? Have you heard anything?
I mean, this is totally anecdotal, but what I tend to get is like they're just fed up with the schools, and it seems to be like almost a bit of a like protest vote against kind of when they're not feeling heard, or they don't think their child's needs have been met, or whatever it might be, or bullying's not been addressed, things like that. And obviously that there will be the school side to that. I'm just saying what I'm hearing.
Of course,
So and
I've
then
heard similar things,
then they kind of go, right, I've got up to here with this school and pulling my kid out kind of thing. But then there's not, like you say, there's not that daily interaction with peers. There's not all of that stuff that kids get from school that's really valuable.
Yeah, thanks for that, Kat. I will take that, because it is about health and well-being. It is about safety, safeguarding, and there's a lot of agencies go along to the Health and Wellbeing Partnership meeting. So I will bring it up. I will raise it. Thank you for that, Jodie.
I should say off the back of that, although we are only a small team, we do support with things like exclusion meetings, trying to get a child back into school, and support for the parents, not so much the child themselves, because our project is 18 and above, but we would support the parents to be able to support the child, because it can be quite scary things. So yeah, the offer's there if you want any help or support with that, and someone to refer through to for some support with them.
Right.
I forgot what the main thing. Oh yeah, health and wellbeing partnership. Sorry, I had a right moment then. I blame the menopause. So for us, we're seeing a lot of dads coming through, undergoing childcare proceedings, separated from their children, trying to get supervised visits initiated and started. Like I've already said, we don't really support from the legal aspect, but we support with the meetings. There's nothing in the area, Tracy, with regards to parents, or definitely dads, we're sending them across to gain support, usually via the telephone from Preston. That's the closest we've got. So it's quite a long distance, and obviously we're signposting through to them for that additional support. But apart from Andy's Man Club, which is amazing, by the way, absolutely amazing, but it's not childcare specific or separated from your children for fathers specific. So yeah, that's what we're finding.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that, Jodie. I'll feed that in as well. It also comes in handy to know these kind of things when it comes to our funding streams, because what we can do is say this is needed, this is needed, this is needed in the area, and there will be some groups out there that can offer that peer support kind of stuff rather than a service. It sounds like, you know, dads need support as well. I know that New Era do a dads group, but I think that's about really young children. I think it's about dads going along with their children rather than that separation issues stuff.
I think it is very peer support related. I think a lot, I'm going to sound a bit controversial, but a lot of the mums get support. The dads don't realise that there may be other people in a similar situation to them. And I don't mean that in any controversial kind of way. I think it's just that men are less likely, in my opinion, to reach out for support in the same way as if a woman was going through a similar situation, she might find other mums. So yeah, I think even if there's a chance to get just some kind of peer support, for them, it'd be a big difference. Yeah.
Fab. Thank you,
Okay,
Jordan.
no worries.
For that. Anthony. I think Anthony were on the phone then.
Yes, no, sorry. Hey, yeah, it was a number that I can't ring back. Sorry. Yeah, so going back to what Kat was saying about the homeschooling, this is from a personal experience. We pulled our daughter out from school, and it was more around mental health, and our opinion on it was the child's mental health and keeping her alive is more important than her education at that time. And I think there is more with children's mental health, and I know we're saying that they miss out on that peer learning, but if then peers are just driving them to suicide attempts, then it's better. So, and some of it could be around mental health, and whether it is a wraparound thing where we need more mental health within schools anyway and more support. But yeah, from a personal experience, and so it does happen, and we kind of did it, and our reasons behind it was we need to keep his daughter safe. And it wasn't that we didn't believe that the school could keep her safe as such, that there was problems there, but it was more everything that was going on at school. That's what was driving her to the suicide attempts. So yeah, so it is a lived experience, and if you want me to kind of give any experience on that as kind of moving it forward, I'm more than happy to do so.
Thank you, Anthony.
Cheers.
Thanks for sharing that. What I was going to say is what I'm hearing through this is not only do young people need more mental health support, they also need relationships support. So how do you have relationships with other people? You know, try and combat that, to tackle that bullying. I know it's gone on forever and a day. I was bullied badly at school. But it's more so now because I could get away from it. As soon as I left school and went home, that was it. But now it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So maybe there's something around that as well. So I'll take that to the partnership and see what happens. So thank you for that, Anthony. Sid.
I just wanted to change track slightly and just go back to the funding conversation, Tracy. Yeah. Would the fund look at so sometimes when we get I'm going to talk a veteran specifically. So sometimes when we get a homeless veteran that comes through, and then we contact the likes of Healthy Heroes and say, yeah, okay, it's Thursday today, but we can't get them a place until Tuesday the following week. Then sometimes we get that we have to, you know, keep them in A&E for that time. Would the fund be or could it be used to fund a temporary accommodation, like a bed and breakfast for that time while they wait for a place?
No, it's specifically for community groups.
Right.
It's specifically for group activity. It's not for that kind of funding. I think what that kind of funding would be crisis support.
Yeah.
Which we've just finished. We've just allocated all the crisis support for Pendle. Burnley haven't had one yet. However, it might be worth me bringing up at the Health and Wellbeing Partnership around that. That if you want to whiz me an email, Sid, just saying that,
Yeah.
And then I can take it to the Health and Wellbeing Partnership Board, because I'm also linked into Burnley Council and like I said, the various other councils as well. And they will all be getting, if they haven't got it already, the Crisis Resilience Fund, Community Resilience Fund. And an element of that is about crisis funding. So I'm just wondering whether some of that could be used for that temporary accommodation for a couple of days or a few days or whatever for people. It might not, but you don't get if you don't ask, do you?
No,
So,
absolutely.
you know,
Yeah.
So whiz me an email, Sid, about that, and
will do.
and I'll bring it up at partnership.
Yeah, because sometimes we do get donations. I've got a separate charity number through our hospital charity ELHTME, and they've given me like a sub charity number within that. And I'm hoping to try and acquire some funds to so I can source clothing and toiletries, etc., for any homeless veterans that come through, so we can get them a shower and a change of clothing. Because I know some of them that we've seen recently, they've been out in the sticks for weeks on end, and they haven't had a shower or anything like that. So I know we do have a small sort of stock of stuff like that as a hospital, but I just need to try and build on that as well. So I don't know if that's something that could be considered as well, maybe.
Yeah, perhaps it can, if you incorporate it into the email and talk about, because it is needed. It reminds me a lot of, I used to be a director at Women's Refuge, which is now SafeNet. And that was about, some of that was about temporary accommodation. Some of that was about, because they'd turn up in just what they were stood up in. And they really needed. It's okay, Kat. Kat's having to leave. And they needed that, really basic stuff like a change of underwear, a decent pair of trousers or a decent pair of shoes, and things for interviews and things like that. So perhaps that can be incorporated in. Give it to me, Sid, and I'll give it to them, and we'll see where we can get to. Jordan.
Yeah.
Just a quick one on toiletries and things like that. I used to volunteer for a company called the Hygiene Bank, which is now partnered up with Boots. Obviously, we've got a Boots here in Burnley, and there's a couple of others across Lancashire, obviously. But you can go directly to them, put your details in, and they can give you like toiletries that you need that are specific. They can make you up kind of little I don't know what to call them, but care packages, I suppose, as well. Those can be set up as well. So it might be worth reaching out to Hygiene Bank. They are good. Good charity.
Yeah. Have you got some contact details for that, Jodie?
Yeah, I can send it. I'll send it across to you. Yeah, I'll have to look on my phone because it's been a while since I volunteered there. But I'll send them across.
Because as I said, we do have like from a clothing point of view, we do have a stock of things like trousers and t-shirts, but it's more the smalls, the socks and underwear that you can't really utilize secondhand stuff from that point of view. So it's things like that.
Let me think about that one, Sid, because I think there could be some, supermarkets are quite good. The community champions are quite good at sourcing things. And I'm sure, all the supermarkets have a clothing element. And I'm sure that the supermarkets would love it. It'd be good publicity for them to do that stuff. So I would recommend getting in touch with the community champions. Anthony.
Sorry. Would BFC in the community and their club, I know they might be football socks and stuff, but they might have sports socks and stuff as well. They might have some that you could kind of link in with if they've got spare. So that might be
I'll link in with them quite, because they've got their own veterans program as well. So I'll link in with Daniela and Billy over at Burnley FC quite a lot. So I'll. It's a question I've not actually asked them, to be fair, but I will do. Yeah.
This is what Burnley Link's all about. It's all about coming together to help try and solve things and to bring things to people's attention. Thank you for that, everyone. I do have a wellbeing updates, which is a new standing item for anyone to update on any new wellbeing initiatives. You've all just said it, so we don't need to do that. So that also gets fed up into the Health and Wellbeing Partnership for Burnley and for Pendle and for Rosendale as well. All of that stuff gets fed up. And the last bit is information sharing. Well, the only one that hasn't really shared any information is me. So I'm gonna indulge myself for the next couple of minutes and just talk about some of the stuff that CVS are doing. I've recently taken over management of and amalgamated the group support team and the volunteer hub, and they are now working together as a development team. And they're working really well, actually. And one of the initiatives that they've set up recently is coffee, cake, and collaboration, which cake being the most important thing of that title. And they are for volunteers and volunteer involving organisations, so anyone can go along to any of these. And it's about talking to each other, sharing experiences, a bit like this, but a bit more specific and a bit more focused. It's led by the group, by the CCCs, as we're calling them, and yesterday they had one yesterday in Rosendale. They're having them all over the place. So the first one was in Burnley, last one was in Rosendale, the next one's in Pendle, I think, and we'll just keep rotating it. And people love it. There were 18 organisations yesterday that were represented. They had a really good chat about managing volunteers, the pitfalls, the best practice, all of that stuff, and they learned from each other, which was really great. There's reports put out about every single one of them. So even if you've not been along, if you wanted to sign up and say, I wouldn't mind knowing about that, you can get the report. And if you just email me, I'll put you on to whoever you need to speak to. So that's one of the initiatives. The other one is quite exciting, actually. If you know any small groups who are desperately in need of funding, then I know funding's scarce. We're finding it really difficult. So the small groups are particularly finding it difficult. We have Helping Hands Lottery that raises money. You can raise money through Helping Hands Lottery for your organisation. There's what are they called? There's a dance syndicate in Rosendale for Down syndrome people, and they're going great guns. They're raising hundreds and thousands of pounds for their organisation, because all you have to do is sell tickets, and people will win things. So if you wanted to know more about that, or get involved in that, or indeed buy a ticket and raise some money for us or one of the groups, please do take a look on our website. It's called Helping Hands Lottery. It's right at the very start of our website. You can't miss it. I'm just trying to think. I'm doing this all off the top of my head. I hope you're impressed, because this is menopause brain trying to work. Yeah, we've got all kinds of stuff going on all the time. We're working on our interim report for our social prescribing funding at the moment, and it's almost finished, so that'll be out soon. So you'll be able to see what groups have been funded, what they're working on. It'll all be on our website. If you want to refer into our social prescribing service, our referral form is now on our website. Yes, we are finally coming to the 21st century. We have some forms on our website that you can fill in rather than us sending paper ones or by carrier pigeon. So please do take a look on our website, and if you do want to refer in, please do. Sid, I have had conversations previously about having social connectors specific for veterans. I can't remember who I had the conversation with, but we would be happy to accommodate that as well. We do support some veterans, and happy to accommodate veterans in our social connections service.
That's great. We get quite a lot of veterans that are over a certain age range, obviously, that comes through the trust, and a lot of them, it's social isolation. Yeah. I believe have you got a befriending service? Is that?
We do.
Yeah.
We do. It's a telephone befriending service. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a specific referral form for that, or is it? Do we just?
You can refer through the social prescribing referral
Okay.
form on our website. If you just
Yeah.
say they want telephone befriending, they'll put you straight in touch.
Brilliant. That's great.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's going great. Thank you for the reminder, Sid. That's going great guns as well. We've got I think we've got 6 volunteers now. We're always after more. We want to expand it. It is a desperate need. You know, people do want the befrienders. You know, our befrienders play games and all kinds of things over the phone with people. And they ring them. I think they ring them whatever they want. If they want to ring once a week, they ring once a week. If they want it once a month or whatever, that's what they do. But they talk about all sorts. They set the world to rights, and yeah, they have a lovely time. And the aim is to kind of increase confidence over the phone, to enable people eventually to be able to come along to community activities, you know, because they'll know somebody that's there. So one of the befrienders would go with them to the activity. So it's about trying to empower people and increase their confidence. I think there's probably shed loads of stuff that I've forgotten. There will be. And there's nobody on here from CVS. Normally there's somebody on here from CVS going, Tracy, you forgot this, Tracy, you forgot that. But hey ho. So please do keep in touch with each other. We're almost at 11 o'clock now. It's 10:57 by my computer clock. So thank you so much for engaging. Thank you so much for being so engaged. And I know there are only a few of us, but we've had quite a nice time, I think. I thought we were going to be struggling to fill an hour, but, you know, we can talk, can't we, Jordan? Can't we, Ruth?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
So thank you very much, everybody. Please do keep in touch. Don't forget about those connections. And if you've got any information, you can send it to me or send it to Lorna, and we'll make sure that it goes on the web page. And if it's date sensitive, we'll get it out there to everybody. Thank you very much. Have a lovely rest of your day, this lovely sunny day, even though it's freezing. And take care, and I'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
see you
Thank you.
later.
Bye.
Take care.
See you later.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. Bye.